I know.
Yes.
Do you know Jordan Peterson has a new show?
Who?
Jordan Peterson.
Okay. I heard it in the original German.
That's what I was trying to do.
So he has a new show. Where? Jesus, where?
On the Daily Wire Plus,
Okay.
so it has to be
So
behind a
deep-
paywall, and they're not going to get any of my money. But I saw an ad for it.
Deep in reaction stand.
So no, it's so you have to imagine this is Kermit the Frog's voice with like his evil twin, because I don't feel good Jordan Peterson. But he's going to go and take some of his closest colleagues, like Ben Shapiro and that diaper guy.
Ugh.
And Jeremy Boring, who I think that's his real last name, in the most
I know.
unironic way possible.
Just painfully, like,
And they're gonna go to places like Jerusalem and just annoy the native population.
They will not be welcomed as heroes. I don't know what they're thinking.
They're going other places too, but the place that stood out in my mind from seeing the ad for it was Jerusalem.
Uh-huh.
But no matter where they go, their job is to annoy the local population.
An idiot abroad, but there's a gang of idiots.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a thing.
To watch a bunch of people travel and not have their minds broadened.
I mean, it's almost like watching Penny Skaggs.
Right?
It's like one of her travelogues.
But that's what it would have to be like. I mean, that's the kind of brain it takes to, like, see the wonders of the world. Like, the populations of the earth and just be like,
Not like at home.
Exactly. Life goes on exactly as it was.
Well, it's behind a paywall, so I'll never watch it, but I'm sure people with more time
Yes.
and money than I have will watch it for me on YouTube and tell me about it.
We love these people, these glorious people that watch this dreck and then gossip to us about the juiciest bits. We appreciate you so freaking much.
They are doing the Lord's
They
work.
truly are. Amen.
And in case you didn't know you were, I am
And
Samara,
I'm Jeannie.
and this is Talk Deadly to Me. Penny.
Penny Skaggs.
Poor Penny.
Yeah. I mean, she was a complicated woman. I think she made her life harder than it needed to be.
Yeah.
But she did not deserve this.
No, she didn't need to be bludgeoned and stabbed to death.
Oh, Penny, I'm sorry. Oh.
We'll talk about it more later. Now, at 9:13 p.m., Diana, who's a neighbor friend of the Skaggs, got a call from Roger. When Diana got on the phone, Roger told Diana that he had just gotten home from work and Penny wasn't answering. And then Roger went on to tell Diana that he was going from room to room looking for Penny, and she could just tell by his voice something bad had happened. He's panicked.
Yeah.
Didn't know what to do. And so he finally tells her, I went into the den and she was there. She's just on the floor in a pool of blood. I don't know what to do. And Diana's like, well, have you called 911?
Yeah. First things first.
Oh. Right. I called you first. And then Diana's like, well, then call 911.
Right?
You might? Christ. So Roger hangs up with Diana and calls 911. With the police and the paramedics on the way, Roger grabbed Penny's phone book, planner book, and waited for the authorities on the front porch. Couldn't stand to be up there.
I'll bet.
He wanted the phone book because that's where Penny kept all of the important numbers for anyone that Roger may need to notify that Penny's dead.
Uh-huh.
The paramedics come, they do their level best, but she's gone.
Yeah.
And they wrote this whole thing off as a crime scene.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah. It's hard to have an accident like that.
Yeah, no, people don't
Without a
normally
poltergeist, I
accidentally,
guess.
bludgeon themselves.
Yeah.
Weird,
It would
right?
be a first.
Man. So yeah, he takes the book because he's like, I gotta tell people, and
Yeah.
Penny, being ever the good wife, good housewife, keeps these things nice and
It's
tiny.
like the way he's anticipating making these phone calls. To the point of having that phone book under his little wing.
Mm-hmm.
Rubs me the wrong way.
Across the street, Diana began calling friends of the Skaggs and telling them that Penny was hurt in a bad way. She didn't know that Penny was dead yet.
Oh, yeah.
She knows that Roger called 911 and the paramedics and stuff are there. But
he's an idiot.
Right. Within minutes, the Skaggs' home is besieged with neighbors and friends eager to help out however they could. Worried that what happened to Penny could also have happened to Roger.
Yeah.
The neighborhood rumor is going, shit like this don't happen at 9 o'clock at night here.
And news travels faster than the speed of light.
Man. So, like I said, the paramedics get there pretty quickly, and it don't take a whole lot.
Yeah.
She's dead.
Yeah.
And the Skaggs' home was instantly transformed into a crime scene after that.
Yes.
Paramedics leave, crime scene people come in, yellow tape goes up.
Yeah.
Jobs are being done. Then Penny's body is taken away to the medical examiner for an autopsy.
Mm-hmm.
All within, I'd say, less than an hour.
Mm.
So this is real rapid response.
Yeah.
And then after that, Roger's taken to the police station for questioning.
Yeah.
Not because...
You bet.
Well, right now, Roger's being taken into questioning more as a witness than a suspect.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't know what's happened yet.
Yeah, but we sure as shit are going to talk to you.
Right, because you're the one that reported it.
Exactly.
So we got to talk to you. So Roger also, as he's getting ready to head out to the police station, made a list of people that needed to be notified about Penny's death and left the list with his neighbor, Diana.
Ah, Diana.
Yeah. And Diana gets to call Penny's sister
Oh.
to tell her that her older sister is dead, and then leave her sister with the task of notifying the family.
Oh, jeez.
While Diana notifies friends in Austin.
Yeah.
Penny's family's mostly in like Dallas, like 200-300 miles away.
Yeah.
Still, there's something cold-hearted about that.
Yeah.
One, to inflict that kind of trauma on a friend who's already fucked up, to find out that her buddy across the street got bludgeoned to death.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, can you notify my family too?
Yeah. It's gross. Yeah.
And I wonder if it's well, of course we know Roger did it, but is it gross because we know Roger is up to some shit?
No, because it's weird and gross. You should do it yourself.
Or is it gross because Penny has Roger so spoiled that his default is somebody else will do this? This is admin.
Yeah.
I don't do admin. I'm a CEO.
Yeah. I think it could be a little everything.
Yeah, it could be.
He is a spoiled brat. He doesn't care. He doesn't care to do it himself. He can pawn this job off.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. He could pawn it off.
And he did.
Yeah.
But she's an executive.
What the motive was, I don't know. But he pawned it off.
Yeah, it didn't necessarily... Pawning it off doesn't necessarily need to be sinister to be...
I know. We're kind of in the work and the job of like looking at things in a sinister manner.
Right. So
and even though he sucks.
Diana calls Penny's sister Marilyn. Of course, like I said, Marilyn has to notify the family while Diana notifies the Austin friends.
Oh, man.
Marilyn got her sisters on a conference call with their husbands and told them the news. And according to Marilyn, at the information she had at the time, it looked like some sort of home invasion gone wrong.
Okay.
And that's the working theory the cops are rolling with right now. From there, the sisters and their families decided it was best to give their elderly parents, who are in their middle 70s at this point, give their elderly parents the news in person.
Mm.
So all three girls
Yeah.
load up, drive through their parents' house, and sat on the bed with their folks who both have health problems or are bedridden for different reasons, and gave them the news that Penny was dead.
Oh, that's awful. That's brutal.
Their mom
That's a brutal
asked
thing
if-
to have to do.
Yeah. Can't even imagine.
No. Like, my brain just won't go there.
Their mother asked if Penny had been in an accident, and Marilyn had to explain it looked like some sort of home invasion or a robbery gone wrong. And after Marilyn explained what happened and what she had learned from Roger and the cops, their father looked at Marilyn dead ass and said, "It was Roger."
Yeah.
Dead
Smart
ass.
man.
That old man knew.
Yeah. You could see it.
As Marilyn's breaking the news of Penny's death to the rest of their family, Roger's being taken into the police station to give a statement.
Yeah.
Like I said, at this point, he's not a suspect. He's more of a witness.
Okay.
Which makes sense. He found the body. He made the call.
Yeah. So they're not questioning with the intent of, like, did you do this?
No.
They're just like, what did you see today?
What happened?
Yeah.
Right. So Roger would finish his interview around 3 a.m. He goes to the police department around 10:30.
Oh, okay.
He calls 911 at 9:15 p.m.
Oh, okay.
And so by the time the paramedics get it, all that stuff happens, and the police start roping everything off,
Yeah.
it's like 10:30.
Okay.
Then he goes to the police station, he waits for a while, and he talks until about 3 a.m.
Mm.
When Roger was done with the police, he steeled himself to tell his now 24-year-old daughter, Sarah, that her mother was dead. After Sarah was given the news, Roger went to another friend's house for a fitful sleep before getting up to make funeral arrangements for Penny the next day. He couldn't go back to the house.
Oh, because it's a crime scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he stays with some friends
Okay.
that live around the corner for like 3 or 4 days. He's over there. On March 8th, 2 days after Penny was killed, Roger and Sarah went to the funeral home to make arrangements. While discussing how Penny should be dressed for viewing, the funeral director suggested it be something high neck to cover the wounds around her throat.
Yeah.
And Roger agreed, although Penny wouldn't know this, not Penny, Sarah wouldn't know this, but it was weird for her father to agree to that.
Oh, yeah?
Well, how would he know that she had wounds around the neck that needed to be dealt with?
Oh.
He went in the room, he saw her dead, he didn't pick her up, he didn't touch her,
Yeah.
he didn't cradle her, he just was like, oh my god, I think she's dead, it doesn't look like she's breathing.
Yeah. And then waited on the porch.
I think I'm going to be sick, I'm going to go outside.
Yeah.
So how would he know that there were wounds on her neck?
Oh. Good
But of
question.
course, that would have been lost on Sarah
Yeah, true.
at the moment. But for those of us, outside looking in, it's like, I see you, Skaggs.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. As arrangements for Penny's funeral were being made, Roger had a weird conversation with his hostess over breakfast. Remember, he's staying with friends.
Yeah.
I don't care about his friend's name, so there was
fair.
hostess.
Yeah.
So over breakfast, Roger told his hostess that he was having some issues with the burial plot. That he wanted to buy one plot for Penny, but his in-laws were trying to get him to buy 2 plots, assuming that he would want to be buried next to Penny at some point. And Roger told his hostess that he didn't want to go to Penny's burial in Dallas.
What?
He didn't want to go.
Okay.
And he didn't think that Penny's family wanted him there either.
Oh.
But he's gonna go. because Sarah will be upset if he doesn't.
And it would be just too weird if he doesn't.
So he's acting like a weirdo.
Yeah.
It just is a little lost on some of his friends and family.
Yeah.
In the early stages of the whole thing.
Exactly. Like, grief hits people very differently.
Yeah.
And he's getting a lot of grace, but that's fucking weird.
Yes. So Penny, in the end, would have two services. A memorial in Austin, which she had spent a not insignificant chunk of her adult life.
Yeah.
And her burial would take place in Dallas, which would be a private affair.
Yeah.
With just the family.
Yeah.
Of about like 40 people or something.
The inner circle.
Yeah. Sarah was tasked with flying out to Dallas to help her elderly grandparents make the trip to Austin for the memorial. And as part of the final arrangements in Austin, the funeral home allowed for a private viewing for the family to take place before the big thing. On the way over to the funeral home, Roger and Marilyn, who's one of the twins, ended up in a car together. And they were talking about, reminiscing.
Yeah.
As death tends to do.
Yes.
With people. And as they're just talking about all the fond memories of Penny and their family trips and just lovely things, out of nowhere, Roger told Marilyn that he needed her and the family to know that eventually he's going to remarry.
Okay.
He might leave Austin.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of tragedy in Austin.
Yes.
He can't pick up and leave straight away, but just know that that's something in the future.
Yeah. That's quick. That's awfully quick to be talking about it.
Yeah, that's what Marilyn said.
Yeah. I mean, it's perfectly reasonable that someone will remarry. But to bring it up on the way to the funeral home of your just deceased wife?
Yeah, Penny ain't even in the ground yet.
Yeah, it's a little dude.
And that's kind of what Marilyn thought.
Yeah.
Marilyn was like, so?
Yeah, why
Of course we know that there may come a point where you meet somebody and move on, possibly even remarry. Fine.
Do we have to talk about it?
No, I mean, fine, that is life.
Yeah.
Also, Marilyn was like, knowing how spoiled you are, it actually stands to reason that you go out and find somebody to
quick.
move on with probably faster than most people would be comfortable with.
Yep.
But it stands to reason that you'll do that. But Penny ain't even been dead for a week yet.
Dude, read the room.
So can we not do this?
Yeah.
No. And when they got to the viewing, Roger did not go in to see Penny.
I'm not surprised. Coward.
After the viewing, Roger announced that he wanted Penny to be buried next to her parents.
Okay.
Now, her parents are alive and well, but they already have their plots in the cemetery in Dallas. So they're like, why? No, that makes no sense. Roger went to the cemetery people, somehow convinced them to exchange his in-laws' plots for a plot in a different location that would allow him to buy a third plot so he could put Penny next to her parents.
You know what? Yes, let her be with people who appreciate her.
Again, that's weird. You're like, you telegraph it loud.
Yeah. This is obvious.
I don't want her. I don't need her. I don't like her.
Yeah.
No.
If he had a golf course, he would bury her on an untended little corner of it. But he doesn't have a golf course to hide her in.
No, he doesn't. So he's just going to plop her next to her folks and move on with his life. So the Saturday before the Austin Memorial, Roger and Sarah had Roger's host over to the family home for dinner.
Yeah.
The house is on lockdown for like 4 days.
Yeah.
Before Roger and Sarah are let back in. And so their church had catered a meal for them. Like all the church folks came together and brought them food and stuff. And so they invited their host that let Roger crash over for a meal. So as Roger takes their coats, he takes the hostess into the den.
Yeah.
There was still blood there.
Oh, ew.
And complains to her about the damage the cops had done to the finish on the yellow baby grand when the place was a crime scene. Then he started complaining that he had a lot of big decisions to make over the coming months.
Yeah.
And the hostess reminded him, the old adage, when tragedy like this strikes, you should maybe wait a year before you make any big decisions.
True.
Could be some time before you're in your right mind. And Roger was like, man, pish posh. Ain't waiting no year.
Yeah.
I might be married 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a year. A
Oh
lot
my God.
can happen in a year, bitch. A lot can happen in a year. Y'all don't know.
Understand.
Y'all don't know. I got hoes stacked up, bitch.
I would not be surprised.
Shit can happen in a year.
Yes.
So Penny's memorial in Austin was held on March 10th, and over 400 people attended.
Oh, nice.
Many of the attendees were students from the Good Wife classes for the creative counterparts. Shit that she'd been teaching for 20-something years. At church people, but it was well attended.
Yeah. That's nice.
I
like that for her.
The next day, a lot of the same people were heading up to Dallas for the burial.
Yeah.
The graveside service was for the family, but other people did go to whatever church service they had in Dallas the next day. After the Austin memorial, Roger came downstairs. They go home, they're having dinner, they're talking. Roger comes downstairs, and he's got on this leather motorcycle jacket that he got in Vegas.
Yeah.
And he's looking at Marilyn, Carolyn, and Cheryl, and he's like, what do you think? Looking good? Looking sharp?
Okay.
They're going to wear this to the gravesite. What you think?
Wow.
You know you want it.
Ugh.
You know you want it.
Dude. Oh, that's so tacky.
At first, the sisters thought Roger was being silly.
Oh, bless.
Maybe trying to bring some levity into what had been a pretty rotten...
He's losing his mind, I see.
It's been a rotten week for everybody, so maybe he's just trying to be...
It's getting to him, right?
Yeah.
Right?
No. When it was time for the graveside service, Roger showed up in that leather biker jacket, complete with a red, white, and blue eagle with a full wingspan and all of its regalia on the back.
Oh,
yes,
my
Lord.
Oh, my God. Which forever is like the sound of an eagle in my head.
I honestly don't know what sound they make.
No.
I know animals screech on their claws, but other than that, I know nothing.
I can't make a screechy noise.
So, yeah. He wore that tacky thing.
To plain sight. That is disrespectful.
Penny's family was not impressed.
No doubt.
And like you, they felt that shit was just for fucking respectful.
It truly was.
I mean, especially knowing how Penny felt about his new hobbies.
True.
She did not approve of his motorcycle ride and sailboating, airplane. She didn't approve.
Yeah. To show up in the regalia.
Of the things that she does not approve of.
I know. Tacky.
Now, in later interviews, Sarah would say that her father's the jacket was a misunderstanding. According to Sarah.
Yeah.
Before the graveside service, the day before, the family had decided that Penny's graveside service would be casual.
Okay.
And it was cold.
Yes.
Dallas in March. It's chilly.
Okay.
And Roger wore the only warm, casual jacket he had.
Okay. Sarah.
She loved her daddy. That's all I can say.
Oh, Sarah.
I'm gonna let her live, but she loved her daddy.
She does. She's a good daughter.
Yeah, she loves her daddy.
Yep.
The
He did something right.
With the overboard jacket.
No. Casual. It was casual.
Stop it. I just imagine it's that same shit that he wore to that stupid Halloween party when he dressed up as a biker.
Yeah.
He just strutted up, feeling like, yeah.
And all his cosplay glory.
Jeans that are pressed down the front with a crease.
Yeah.
Like the old man do.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's why Sarah was like, it was a misunderstanding. My aunt should not have taken it disrespectfully.
Yes. Okay.
That's what she said.
Mm.
Not trying to telegraph anything about his newfound freedom as a single man, or finally returning to his life as an eagle where he could soar. Now, he was with a Ross Perot's eagle. He knew everything about that eagle life. He helped get people out of Iran once.
Mm. Another story for another time.
Yeah. But
kind of fuck him. Fuck you, Roger.
So
you made the copies. You made the copies for that escapade. You didn't save anybody.
True story. He
Mm-hmm.
did. But
really?
No, he was one of the computer analysts that helped figure out where the hostages were, and other people with gun skills and stuff actually went and got them.
Okay.
But
push buttons.
Yeah, his Ross Perot's company just had certain technology that was needed.
Weird. Ross Perot, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you.
He's an interesting man.
Yeah, truly.
I think he's dead.
Yeah.
Long since.
A while. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was an interesting man.
He dropped out of the public eye, and he when he died, we were all like, he was still alive?
Yes.
But it was a while ago.
Yeah. So after the funeral, after the graveside service, in his eagle jacket,
mm-hmm.
Roger told the family he had an important announcement to make.
Mm-hmm.
And that announcement is that he had decided that he would eventually be called a suspect in Penny's murder. So he was going to lower her up now for his own protection.
Oh my God.
Apotheosis of nothing. Other than it's always the husband.
It's not a bad theory.
I'm just saying, it's still weird. It's still like, huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Okay.
So while Penny's family were laying her to rest, the cops were trying to make sense of Penny's murder.
Mm-hmm.
On the surface, it did look like a break-in or a home invasion style robbery gone bad.
Yeah.
Like Penny's valuable jewelry that she wore on a regular basis, like her diamond earrings, her wedding ring, an anniversary ring, a necklace, a tennis bracelet. She had some pretty
some nice
pieces that they were all gone.
Mm, okay.
She was,
So that follows,
beaten pretty heavily.
Mm, yeah.
But the beating was overkill.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Penny had been struck with a blunt object so many times, the medical examiner stopped counting how many times
she had God. Oh my God.
Fuck it. On the form, he wrote a whole bunch of fucking times.
Wow.
Because after a while, he's like, there's no point. There's no point in counting them.
Yeah.
There's also no point in trying to figure out which one was the fatal blow.
Yeah.
Just know that being
so
beaten about the head and neck is what killed her.
Mm.
She also had dozens of slash wounds and stab wounds.
Mm.
Her throat was slashed 8 times.
Oh my God.
And she was stabbed.
That's crazy.
She was stabbed well over 12 times in her chest, in her back, in her torso.
Yeah.
So
that's personal.
And that's why the cops were like, something's going on here.
Yeah.
Because it does, on the surface, look like, okay, an invasion.
Yeah.
Robbery gone wrong. But once you find out how fucking beat down she got,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, there's something else going on here.
Yeah. Something fucked up.
But what? This is so much more than a junkie breaking into a house
Yeah.
and scaring an older woman and you know,
Bludgeoning her. Yeah.
bludgeoning her as he's trying to steal her jewelry.
Yeah. This is like, she got smeared.
And a lot of the wounds were post-mortem.
Oh.
So whoever did this beat her to death and stabbed her and just kept beating and stabbing and beating and stabbing long after she was gone.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Somebody was very upset.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the cops were like, this is personal.
Yeah.
So to figure out who would beat her to death and then try to destroy her body by just continuing to beat it after death.
Yeah.
Who hates her that much?
Jeez. Yeah, that's psychotic.
And that's where they start their investigation.
Who hates this woman?
So after the services in Austin and Dallas, respectively, Roger was returned to the police station for another interview. Again, the first time he was treated more like a witness than a suspect. This time, the interview is to try to determine if he is a viable suspect.
Okay.
But they're treating Roger like he's a witness still. But
keep his guard down.
Exactly. The cops asked Roger to tell him everything he can remember about the day he found Penny's body.
Yeah.
So Roger starts from the beginning. Like, he comes home from work at 5:30 for dinner. And he gave the details of everything he did at the office until he went home for dinner. By the time he went back, yada, 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 yada. And then when he finally comes home, he finds Penny dead.
Yeah.
Goes through all his whole. Roger said that he had parked his car in the garage when he entered the house. And when he walked into the house through the kitchen, he noticed there were still dirty dishes in the sink, which was weird.
Yeah.
Penny's not the type to leave dishes for very long.
Yeah.
And then he went into the den and he found her bloody, beaten body. Roger said that he panicked at first and then he ran into the room, but he stopped short because Penny was covered in blood. And when he got closer, he almost threw up at the sight of her.
Okay.
So he ran into the kitchen, got the cordless phone out of the kitchen, and the phone book, and went outside to call 911. Roger recounted his call to 911 in painful detail.
Oh my God.
The kind of detail that's like you're overcompensating for something.
Yeah. Look over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roger told the cops that he had called neighbors, friends, and the pastor. Then, without prompting, Roger gave his theory of the crime.
Don't you love it?
Because from where Roger sat, somebody must have been waiting for Penny after he left the house. He knew that Penny had been attacked long after he had left because there were still dirty dishes in the sink, and that's just not something Penny would do.
Yeah.
Roger speculated that the attack had to have happened within 30 minutes of his leaving the house around 7:15. And then when Roger said the killer must have come around to the back door.
Yeah.
And the back door of their house is one of the only doors that's always unlocked. Because Penny goes back and forth out of there a lot. She makes sun tea.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. She just leaves it open.
Right. So they must have gone to the unlocked back door.
Yeah.
and then clapped up on Penny while she was playing piano and wouldn't hear. And then, bam, she's attacked.
Yeah.
Roger's interviewing the prime suspect in Penny's murder.
Yeah.
Too many weird things. He was hyper descriptive about his day.
Yeah. That's always weird.
It was like, I woke up at 5:45 and took a shit. And then at 5:57, I was in the shower.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, it was that
Yeah.
level of weird detail. And then when he talked about what he did during the day, he gave like useless details, like I have an underground garage at the office, but nobody asked you about that. Like, are you trying to like make it?
Parked the underground garage. Okay, most people just say I went to work.
Like, are you trying to make up for the lack of video footage of you, or explain away video footage of you? Were you somewhere you shouldn't have been? Like, am I going to find footage of you somewhere else?
You're making my antenna twitch, sir.
And when Roger gave his theory of the crime, he was fixated on that back door, always talking about how it was unlocked and how their backyard is so dark because it butts up against some wooded area, and that like you wouldn't notice anybody creeping back there. He really wants people to focus on the fact that the back door was very rarely ever locked, and that the woods behind their yard are dark and creepy. He really needs you to know that.
Perfect crime.
Right? Roger would also change his speech when talking about what happened to Penny. So at 1 minute, he would be using a lot of I statements, and that was usually when he was guessing. I think this happened.
Okay.
This may have happened. I think that may have happened. But when he's talking about action, like when she played the piano, she turned this way. And if she's doing this, this would have happened. When he's talking about action, he would like switch into third person.
Okay. Dissociate.
Yeah, almost like he's remembering watching Penny. Probably because you're the one that did it.
Right.
So you're more accurately remembering what you did.
Yeah.
And when he does that, it's like third person. Anyway, and then he would switch and catch himself.
Yeah.
And switch into the present tense. So the weird tenses and the over detailed they was like, yeah. You killed her. Huh?
Yeah. Brr, brr. The hounds. Can
and
you smell it?
That wasn't enough. The physical, like, actual evidence, like, okay, he's up to something, not just like, okay, you're a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
There's the timing of the 911 call. Roger said that he called 911 as soon as he called Penny. But that contradicted what the cops had been told by his neighbor Diana and what had found out when they pulled everybody's Sony records.
Yeah.
He called Diana first. He was on the phone with her for about 2 minutes.
Yes.
Then he calls 911 at like 9:15 and is on the phone with them for however long. He didn't call 911 first. They can prove that he did.
Yeah.
So, there you have it. And just so many little just misstatements, half-truths, that there was like, nah, gee, he did it.
Yeah.
Gotta prove it. But we did it.
We know it. We know it.
As the interview continued, Roger took notes. He's a list taker, you know. And when Alison was writing down, Roger was like, I need to just make a list of things. I gotta get the house keys back from the crime scene, guys. And make a list of anything that may have been taken or broken, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But before they let Roger go, they did take pictures of his hands, feet, and his shoes to see if there was like any cuts or anything, like defensive wounds on his hands. Pick any pictures and stuff like that before his hands healed up.
Yeah.
And then they sent him on his way. It was almost 3 a.m. when he was done. They brought him in at like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Captain.
They like letting him go at 3 a.m.
They like interviewing him overnight.
Yeah.
For whatever.
It works for them.
But I think it's more like because he's doing funeral family stuff.
Yeah.
But
it's funny.
Maybe they're like, it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Do you know where your Rogers are?
Exactly. We're not waiting till tomorrow, sir. Let's talk.
But now the cops have decided that Roger is their suspect.
Mm-hmm.
They need to find the evidence to nail his ass to the wall.
Yes. Fast.
Right. And they're like, yeah, no, we got you, bitch.
Yeah.
So now the cops are just like, get me Roger Skaggs. I want.
Yeah, bring me Roger Skaggs.
I know, I wrote that
On
down.
a platter.
Sounds like such a like super villain cop thing.
It does.
Bring me Roger Skaggs. So one of the first things that the cops wanted to do after Roger's interview was retrace his steps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nothing really outside of, Penny's dead body.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing had really been disturbed in the Skaggs home. Like,
Yeah.
no sign of forced entry, yada, yada, yada. So if Roger had thrown anything away, then he had to have done it on his way back and forth to the office.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
But they didn't find anything of any import on the road between his home and the office. So, next. So next up, the cops decided to check the dumpsters behind Roger's office.
Mm.
Lucky for the cops, the trash company had a truck breakdown the night before.
Nice.
And so all of the trash that spanned the time of Penny's death
Yeah.
was actually still in dumpsters.
Excellent.
So, huzzah. Now, because a third party handled the garbage, the cops had to jump through a bunch of hoops to get a warrant, yada, 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 yada. And while nobody was happy about doing all that paperwork, the dumpsters ended up being secured, and once they could dumpster dive and go through them, it was a treasure trove
Yay.
of evidence.
Oh, yay.
So in that dumpster, they found a trash bag.
Mm-hmm.
And it caught the cops' attention because this is office trash, right?
Yes.
So most of the trash bags, you're going
It's
to be...
paper.
Not only that, the trash bags are going to be like those white, clear
Yep.
office
Exactly.
trash bags. This was full of nothing but paper, office trash,
Yeah.
and some construction supplies
Mm-hmm.
from like another office that was being renovated someplace
Yeah.
in that building. Right, some drywall and shit. So this large black plastic bag really stands out in the sea
Yeah.
of white
Yeah.
plastic bags.
Yes.
So they take their big bag, they take it to their staging
I
area.
must have been so excited.
What's in the bag? What's in the bag?
Might as well have put a bow on it for him.
And in that trash bag, they found a knife,
Oh, what?
5 rubber gloves,
Wow.
and a foot-long steel pipe.
Wow.
Valuable, blood-splattered jewelry
Mm.
that would later be identified as Penny's wedding ring,
Yeah.
earrings, tennis bracelet,
Yeah.
necklace, etc. And while the knife and the pipe were wiped clean, the forensics people were able to turn the gloves inside out
Mm.
and lift fingerprints
Yes.
from the insides of these latex gloves.
Yes.
And these latex gloves, these fingerprints, match none other than Roger Skaggs.
Roger, you're a fucking moron, and I love it.
There was also a tiny bit of blood splatter on the inside of that glove next to the fingerprint. And that blood matched Penny Skaggs.
Dang, dead to rights.
Now, while
Got
the
him.
cops are trying to pick their jaws up off the floor,
Right?
because never in the history of police work, never, ever did anybody expect to find just literally the murder kit the literal bag of evidence right in front of me.
It's like the game Clue. It's just all here.
I don't have to do anything. It's so weird.
Did we cheat? This feels like cheating.
So while they're just like gobsmacked,
right?
Like nobody expects to find shit like that.
That's amazing. Good on them.
I think that what are they gonna find? Like some time cards,
exactly.
Old magazine subscriptions,
not the murder weapon, the motive,
right? Like
the DNA, the fingerprints.
We found your whole murder kit.
Yeah.
So while they're working on getting their jaws off the floor, the medical examiner came in with more information about Penny's death.
Oh, God! What else is there to know?
Throughout the investigation, the cops had been using Roger's timeline when estimating when Penny was attacked, which would leave her time of death between 8 and 9 p.m.
Yes.
Remember, Roger says he leaves his house at 7:15, and he gets home at like 9 o'clock, and by 9:15 he's called 911.
Yeah.
So they're like maybe half an hour after he left. So they're like between 8 and 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Somebody did this. But during the autopsy, the medical examiner had found partially digested food in Penny's stomach.
Oh.
And because the food was partially digested, that means the digestive process stopped within 1 hour of Penny eating this food.
Yeah.
It's definitely her last meal.
Yeah.
And that put the time of death closer to 5 or 6 o'clock, which would have been within the time frame that Roger said he came home for dinner.
Yeah. Makes sense. Gotcha.
So they're just like, okay. So he had dinner with her, hung out for 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And the minute she sat down to play the piano, he maybe even said, "Oh, go play something for me. I'm gonna change clothes and put on something casual."
Oh my God. I'm just imagining put him on a raincoat. Like that scene in the American Psycho where his buddy's being set up.
Yeah, he probably did.
I mean, it has to be that cold. That is cold.
And then he comes in with a pipe and bludgeons her to death.
You piece of shit, Roger. You're a piece of shit.
All because what? You don't want to pay alimony?
I know. It's like, dude, you'll hardly notice. You'll keep being like wealthy and get to do whatever you want. Alimony, you won't even notice. What an ass. Or he can't be divorced. I don't know. Or you get more sympathy for being a widow.
You can't be divorced because then you lose your standing as a good church man,
Christian man
and a man of God.
Yeah.
You'd be divorced elder at
Yeah.
the church. Also, alimony would be forever. They're in their late 50s. And Penny has always been a housewife.
That's true. But still, it
there
would
is no getting out of alimony for him.
He won't feel it.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just like, you only get alimony for 3 years because your partner has to go back into the workforce.
Yeah.
You only get alimony for 10 years because you eventually remarried and now you're off the hook.
Yeah.
He would have been on it forever.
Yeah.
But Penny never would have remarried.
Hell no. She would never have gotten over the humiliation of one marriage failing.
She surely wouldn't be a wanton harlot to go out and get another
Exactly.
So while the cops are dumpster diving and getting ready to nail Roger to the wall, Roger is still working with the cops because he thinks he's just a witness. He thinks he's helpful. Roger would eventually admit his affair with Vanessa to the cops. And when it came time for Roger to get an alibi, it was Vanessa. Before he had said nobody had saw him in the office the night Penny died. That he came home, had dinner, changed into some jeans or whatever, went back to the office. Nobody at the office saw him. Now all of a sudden, Vanessa saw him. Vanessa was with him at the office all night. All of a sudden.
Yes, the story is evolving.
Yeah. Yeah. Vanessa would confirm the story that she was with Roger at the office. Roger also told the cops that he didn't have a lot of insurance out on Penny, which is true.
Okay.
Not a lot. And any other stocks and bonds that he had moved some stuff around, cashed out a few things, but not like massive amounts that you would try to kill somebody over.
Yeah.
And this
like normal amounts.
Right, this is just like normal, affluent people money moves.
Yeah. Like you just do it because it just makes sense.
Yeah, that you just move your money from one stock to another, or sell one, reinvest in another one. So they did look into the financial moves that he made before Penny died, but they just look like rich people money moves.
Yeah.
Stocks and bonds. Penny has been dead for 9 days at this point.
Dang.
So it's been a very eventful 9 days.
Yeah.
And while he's sure that he is a suspect in the murder, Roger has no idea how quickly the investigation into Penny's murder is going.
It's about to be blindsided.
Well, he's preoccupied with everyday life.
Yes.
He is also very not happy with everyday life because Penny had been taking care of the details of his life for 35 years.
Yes. Yeah.
And without her, it seemed like to friends he could barely wipe his own ass.
Because he can't.
And Roger did. He told a friend that he had no idea where to start putting together the nuts and bolts of a home life.
Oh, wow. That's pathetic.
Because Penny did everything. I need the checkbook. Penny would get it.
Yeah. Oh
Dishes,
my God. Yeah.
She starched his shorts, for fuck's sake.
I know, right?
She ironed his drawers.
He deserves to be uncomfortable.
So he definitely has had, a difficult time.
Yeah. He's not adjusting well.
Regular ass life.
Yeah.
He's never done it before.
He's confused. He's dirty and he is confused.
So he has to rebuild. So he did what all unrepentant killers do. He starts with filing an insurance claim.
Yeah. Yep.
Because Roger wanted to get approval for a payout to start replacing the carpet in the den and repairing stuff. It was still bloody.
Yeah.
And he wanted money to fix or replace anything that the cops had damaged from the house as a crime scene, which is hilarious to me. That he's like, I want insurance to pay for all these little nitpicky damages. He got the money to just pay for it.
True.
If you were that bothered by Penny's blood being on the carpet, you wouldn't have filed an insurance claim to wait 3 to 6 weeks to get paid to replace the carpet.
Yeah.
You would just replace the goddamn carpet.
Yes.
And you probably wouldn't worry about getting reimbursed for it because you just wanted to be rid of that bloody carpet.
Yeah. If you were normal.
Like I said, like y'all unrepentant killers, he filed an insurance claim. He also filed a claim for Penny's jewelry, which he said was stolen in the middle of the home invasion. And told Roger would get about $3,200 in insurance money.
Okay.
And that would be the replacement for all of the home stuff, the carpet, whatever dings and knots. I mean, he's literally just bitching that he might have to repaint some rooms because some of the chemicals that the cops use when they're looking for fingerprints and stuff like that just doesn't clean off.
Yeah, true.
So that's
minor shit.
That's the type of shit he's talking about. He makes it sound like they ran roughshod through his house, like kicked that piano, slammed all of his.
I'm so abused.
Yeah. He also filed the claim for Penny's jewelry, which he said was stolen in the middle of a home invasion. Like I said, he had the $3,200. We can cut that because I forgot where I was at. And as Roger is trying to put his life together at home, Roger's friends start to notice something is wrong.
Start? Okay.
Yes, it is clear that Roger is having a hard time on the home front.
Yes.
But he didn't seem to miss Penny in any meaningful way.
Oh, yeah.
He missed her.
Yeah.
But he missed what she did.
Yep.
For him.
Not her, the person.
Yeah, he missed somebody to keep him fed and watered.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody to come starch his filthy drawers.
Yeah.
I'm like, you starched his shorts, woman?
I know. Above and beyond. Beyond comprehension. What an absolute turd to be so ungrateful.
She starched your fucking drawers.
Yeah.
I've only heard of that in the movies.
I know, right? You owed her. You should have paid her alimony. You should have left her alone. Pay her alimony. Enjoy your adrenaline sports.
And all she would have done is live modestly in that house because she wasn't leaving that house.
Yeah, and she wouldn't have made a fuss.
And you just would have had to kick her down, what, $3,000 a month?
Yeah.
Cover her mortgage.
Yeah.
So maybe $10,000. You got to cover her mortgage
Mm-hmm.
and some of her living expenses and give her some pocket change.
Yeah, and sometimes see her at family events with Sarah. That's it. Jerk.
Now, before Roger could file the claim about Penny's stolen jewelry,
Mm-hmm.
he had to file a police report, which he dutifully did on March 14th. When the cops working on Penny's case got the report about Roger's stolen jewelry,
Mm-hmm.
they took it.
Nice.
And they neglected to tell him that they found his murder kit in the dumpster.
Of course.
Because they wanted more evidence on it.
Oh, hell yeah.
They wanted all the evidence that they could get. They're like, he's gonna hire like the fanciest lawyer in town.
Yes.
We don't want anybody that can talk circles around this murder kit.
Yeah.
So more evidence. Great.
Yeah.
Because after all, filing a false insurance claim is a felony charge.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because they know where the jewelry is.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got it. And they know it wasn't stolen.
Yeah. And they know he knows.
Right. So they did add insurance fraud.
Nice. Nice. Get him. Get him, fellas.
They're out there. On March 15th, 1996, the cops got a call from the lab. And this is when the cops finally find out about the fingerprints.
Okay.
I know I condensed it all because there's a lot of like long, boring. And then they ran up the stairs and ran down the stairs. And then they ran down the hall and then up the hall. But there is like a couple of days between the cops finding the stuff, the lab doing their work and finding their fingerprints.
Yeah. That had to be a great day.
Yeah, and when the cops finally get the call from the lab.
Yeah.
It just so happens to be right after they've added insurance fraud to the list of things that they would have charged Roger with. And so they're finally told the cops are finally told by the lab about the fingerprints inside of the gloves that were found with the knife and the jewelry and everything, and that they match Roger. And the cops were like, okay, I'm hard now.
Yes.
But before I come all over my desk,
Exactly.
I need to take this information to a judge and get a warrant for this motherfucker's arrest. I can't wait!
Don't touch it!
So, they get the warrant for Roger's arrest. After they have the warrant, they call Roger. They need to talk to him again.
Nice.
One more time.
Come into my lair, send the spider to the fly.
They appreciate all your help.
You've been
This is
so
all such
helpful.
good information.
Yeah. Roger, you're the best.
He comes to the police
Come here.
station.
Just come here. Come here.
And he goes into an interview room. The door is closed. And he's immediately arrested.
Yay. That's awesome. Was he surprised?
He dissolved into a puddle of goo.
That's awesome.
If bones really could dissolve, he would have been able to get out of his cuffs and slink out of there, but
He's amoeba.
he was shook.
Oh, that's awesome.
Roger's bail was set at $1 million, which for 1996 is a lot of money.
Yep.
He would raise the bail, but it would take him a couple of days. He's got more. Roger's a millionaire several times over.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of selling the right amount of stocks and properties and how fast you can get those transactions.
But he had to sweat it out a couple of days.
Total of 7. But the news of his arrest shook his community.
Yeah.
Because
No doubt.
up until this point, Penny's family And all of the Skaggs' family, friends, neighbors, whatever, Sarah, church members, everybody thought that Penny's death was a freak occurrence.
Yeah.
That she was just a casualty of the modern age and the spread of violent street crime that is encroaching on the suburbs.
Yeah.
And it was just...
The boogeyman got her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really did believe that.
Yeah.
But
Well, they did put up a pretty good front of being like a perfect couple.
yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And, like, they were shook because
Yeah.
if Roger could do it,
Yeah. Anyone could do this.
who amongst us is a murderer? A damned murderer.
Yeah, I'll never be the same.
I mean, so after his arrest, Roger hired a lawyer and called his pastor. Roger was inconsolable.
Oh, that's awesome.
Roger's in jail about 7 days. The pastor comes to visit him 3 times in those 7
Oh my
days.
god.
And each and every time that man is inconsolable.
Oh my god. Ooh, that doesn't bode well.
Inconsolable. But eventually Roger would make bail. But he would stay out of bail awaiting trial for the next 2.5 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Justice moves slowly when you have money.
Very slowly.
So after Roger's release, after his little 7 days in jail, the press went wild. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
A wealthy man murder his perfect Christian housewife. Like,
Right?
this is a story so good, it's got to be fattening.
Yeah.
It's got to
Yes.
be. Since the story became more prominent, the cops got many tips on Roger sightings. That's what these are, these Roger
Oh
sightings.
my god.
I saw him at the Piggly Wiggly. I saw him at Macy's.
My
I saw him
God.
at Dillon's.
It's a community event.
Man.
That's awesome.
Now, a lot of the tips were from Roger's co-workers, letting them know about Roger's affair with Vanessa.
Oh.
People wanted to talk about it.
That is awesome. Get him.
But there were other, like, Roger sightings.
Yeah.
And people would, like, see him going to the gym and be like,
Story of Roger.
Crime Stoppers,
Yeah.
I'd like to report a Roger Skaggs sighting.
He's at the gym
Yes,
with us regular people.
that's what they were doing. Why haven't you arrested him yet? Eventually, the press coverage got so intense that Roger's church had to issue a press release.
Wow.
It
Wow.
We had nothing to do with this. We're letting the investigation do its thing.
Yeah.
Please respect our church members' privacy at this time.
Jeez.
You know, it's pretty tough for it when a church is like, oh, well, I gotta say something now.
Yeah.
So after the release, Roger asked for a meeting with the board of elders. 8 of the 10 church elders were there. And it probably wasn't lost on anyone that the last time the elders had a big meeting in this way was the day before Penny died. It was just a regular day.
Yeah.
It was a regular church meeting.
Yeah.
Roger admitted that meeting as well. So he had gone and, praised the Lord,
Yes.
sorted out the building fund, beat his wife to death.
Yeah.
Such a weak.
Yeah. Errands,
I know to do. Feed the cats.
Yeah.
Bludgeon wife.
Pick up groceries.
Church meeting.
Yeah.
Circle the meeting, though. That's the most important. Roger even helped with communion the Sunday before Penny's murder.
Gross.
It's
Big
I don't
bad
know.
hypocrite.
Something so nasty that no he
Yeah.
that he knew. that he was on that Sunday, he knew he was going to kill her that Thursday.
No, it's a sacrament, sir.
And he's like,
You
well,
look
it's
soiled.
my
the
turn to do the
host.
communion.
Mm.
So Roger started the meeting by telling everybody in the church meeting. And we know this because this is one of those churches that keeps notes.
Oh,
Meeting
God.
notes.
Yes.
So a lot of this was quoted as one of these old men is doing the stenographer
Clerk
thing.
was clerking that night.
Clerk.
Yes.
So Roger started the meeting by saying, quote, I want to look all of you in the face and tell you that I didn't do it. He continued by saying, quote, secondly, I want to apologize for the affair. I want to apologize for the harm that I have done to the church. The affair is behind me. God has forgiven me, and you should too. End quote.
He told me himself, personally.
So the elders are just like looking at it like, uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, buddy.
And the elders seem to fall into kind of three groups. People who believed Roger, because there are people that do.
Yeah, of course.
People who were distant with Roger, that they just needed him to go away.
Yeah.
And people who think he could have done it, and they don't really care one way or another, but they don't want him in this church anymore.
Yeah.
They just don't want him around.
Yeah.
So that third group of people, though,
Yeah.
Roger's apology and confession of sin failed to meet the Jesus test. For many of them.
Good for them. These are people of discriminating taste.
Because their non-acceptance of his apology hinged on the fact that Roger never said he had sinned against God throughout his apology. He only kept talking about himself. He never talked about how he offended God or how he needed to repent to God.
Yeah.
It was like Roger wanted their forgiveness so that he could move on with some sort of normalcy,
Yeah.
but he didn't really want to repent.
Yeah, because he didn't think he did anything wrong.
And that's why some of them were like, fuck your apology.
I don't buy it.
This is not real repentance. You just want us to move on.
Yeah.
When it became clear to Roger that the conversation was not going the way he planned, he got pissed. And started yelling at the elders, quote, I need support. I need friends. And I need counseling. And I need help and prayers. It's hard to lose a wife and have your whole world turned upside down. None of us are immune. My pride and my ego got in the way, and I had a lack of accountability. End quote.
Okay.
But the more Roger talked and kept on his pity party, the more the elders just played it to the left.
Yeah.
And the angrier he got. So pretty soon, he's screaming at him again that he didn't have any friends on this church board. He accused the church board of abandoning him. He accused the pastor of abandoning him.
Oh my God. Self-centered much?
And then he started to cry. And that's when Roger said, quote, no man here. No man here has said, I love you no matter what. Well,
Oh my God. You have a dad. Why are you looking for like dad in this like
his dad's dead.
Still. Dang.
He didn't bludgeon him to death, natural causes. But still, Roger's dad's dead. And so then, when that didn't work,
Yeah.
Roger gets up and he's angry and he's haughty. He is haughty. He's mad. He's big man.
Yeah.
And he said, quote, I would be outraged if anyone in this church is afraid of me. I would be outraged to think that anyone in this church thinks that I can do this. My closest friends and my support system are being corrupted by the police.
Oh
End
God.
quote. Finally, the Roger lets the pastor get a word in edgewise, and all this time he's talking at them.
Oh my, those poor people, they didn't ask for this.
He's not talking to them, he is talking at them.
He's babbling. Oh.
Like,
I can't imagine.
It's like
at church.
He's looking for what's going to resonate. So somebody just forgive me.
Yeah.
So I can go back to something normal.
What do you buy? What story will you buy?
Right. He just wants to go back to something normal. He'll find the checkbook eventually.
Yeah.
But he wants to keep his standing in this church.
Yeah.
Right. So then the pastor asked Roger if he felt. He asked him, Roger, have I abandoned you?
Mm-hmm.
Have I, as a pastor, abandoned you? And Roger said, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you have.
Mm-hmm.
And the pastor's like, I visited you 3 times.
Yeah.
When you were in jail.
Grateful bitch.
He was there 6-7 days. He visited like half the days that you were there.
Yeah.
And the days that he didn't probably had something to do with how visits are scheduled or something.
Yeah.
You know, like something out of his control.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, Roger.
Visits are 24/7.
Mm-mm. Nope, Roger is very angry because the pastor abandoned him. Abandoned.
Self-centered bitch.
Abandoned.
Yeah. You're special.
So after getting all that anger out about the church, no man there told him that he loved him no matter what.
Oh, God. That is so needy.
He was mad. He was big mad. Like, I don't know why he thought he could just slip right back into being elder deacon or whatever the fuck his title was.
Delusion.
But it seems like he thought that he'd be able to slide right back into that portion of his life, which was clearly important to him for whatever reason.
Yeah, yeah.
But
sure,
he seems to just think he could slide back into that and nobody would say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Elder deacon, pastor, murderer.
Crazy.
Anyway. So after he gets all that anger out at the church, Roger went about selling off all of the marital assets. Furniture, appliances, clothing.
Yeah.
This is an everything must go situation. Everything must go.
Yeah.
And then he put the house up for sale. It's a great house. Early Victorian.
Yeah.
Great neighborhood. One of the better
Cleaned
neighborhoods. And it sold real quick. Because it's a good house to raise a family in and a good affluent neighborhood with one of the better school districts in Austin.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
It's a good place. Then he quickly took the proceeds and downsized to a very swanky condo.
Oh.
The perfect place to pick up his affair with Vanessa, because that's right.
Yeah.
He lied to the church. He never stopped fucking her.
Of course not.
I'll never stop fucking you.
Exactly. And I'm very offended that you all abandoned me.
Yes.
While I continue my affair.
Yes.
Yeah.
But no man there
Trash.
had said that he loved them no matter what.
Yeah.
And I'd be outraged. Outraged, I say. Now, by this time, Roger doesn't have anything to hide.
Yeah.
He is, for all intents and purposes,
Yeah.
single and ready to mingle.
Yes. Yeah.
But anytime the couple is seen out, the Crime Stoppers tip blind just starts lighting up.
That is so petty. I love it. I like it when like a town won't have it.
I'd like to report a Roger Skaggs sighting.
Yeah, there's a murderer loose. I saw a murderer at the barbecue pit with a floozy.
They was at the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
I bought some condoms. I saw him.
I'm here at the movie theater, so I saw Roger Skaggs. He's a murderer. Come get him.
Oh, yeah. And not only were people like just calling in Roger sightings,
hilarious,
but they were also reading the cops report. It has been 2.5 years, sir.
Why haven't you gotten these people?
Why hasn't he gone to trial yet?
Yeah.
Why haven't you arrested him? Why is he out on bail?
Why is he free?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was at the Piggly Wiggly on 50th and 34th.
I seen him in the bowling alley.
Now, one of the places where Roger and Vanessa were most often seen was a local tanning salon.
Oh my God, of course.
They often went
Okay.
tanning twice a week. Standing appointments, actually.
Mm.
Even though Vanessa was usually with him, Roger liked to flirt with all the pretty young women that worked at the salon.
Because he's gross.
In one conversation with the manager, who's damn near 40 years younger
Ugh. Yeah.
than Roger, easily could be his granddaughter.
Yeah. Ew.
So what? This girl's like 25
Yeah.
tops.
Bless. Yeah.
Working at the tanning salon. He invited this girl who he doesn't really know. Apropos of nothing. Hey, want to come to California with me and Vanessa?
Ew.
Mm.
Leave that little girl alone. Ew.
Now, she wasn't interested. Thank you, but
She's
now, because
normal.
that's weird.
Yeah.
And then on their next appointment, when Roger and Vanessa came back,
Yeah.
Roger told the manager, hey, you missed all of this fun in sunny California.
Oh.
We had a great time. We partied so hard at the convention. And she was like, oh,
Convention.
you didn't mention you were going to a convention
Yeah.
on that trip. I thought it was just a random invitation.
Yeah. Ugh.
Either way, still creepy. But
True.
but at least if you lead with the convention, maybe it's something I'm
Yeah.
interested in.
That,
Not just
that was
hey.
good bait.
So she's like, you didn't mention it was a convention. What kind of convention was it? Oh, well, it was a swingers
Oh,
convention.
gross. Ew. Oh, God.
You partied hard at the swingers.
You're like, stop.
convention.
Stop talking right now. Get out. No amount of, like, guaranteed income is worth this.
It's like, I've got to pour some orange tan solution in something. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I think I smell someone burning.
I need to run away.
I need to go get them out. I think someone's burning and tanning bed 5.
I need it.
Excuse
Bye.
me.
Bye.
Then another time he asked the same woman,
Oh, poor woman.
have you ever considered a job as a stripper?
Ew. Ew, Roger.
And she's like, no, because I work in a
Ugh.
tanning salon.
Yeah, why would I do that? Why would that be my next move? Ew.
I want to work in a different kind of salon, or I don't know.
Yeah.
He's
I want
like,
to own a salon.
but when she's like, yeah, no, that's not for me. He was like, oh, but should consider it.
Oh,
The stripping
God.
is an excellent money maker with no downside.
That's so funny.
And she's like, no. I don't care
Oh,
how
God.
much money they make. All those weird guys. I wouldn't want
There's
to.
no downside. No,
I
no
wouldn't want to be around
downside.
all the. No, you've got it all wrong, little lady. At the strip club, the clients are consummate gentlemen. They protect the ladies there.
Jesus Christ.
They walk into their cars and are very protective of the women that dance for their pleasure.
What the fuck?
I don't know why he wants this girl to be a stripper so
I know, or
badly,
the
but-
weird, like, chivalrous version of strip clubs.
I mean, I'm sure there are people that do that, and they're called stalkers, and the strippers don't like them.
No, not even a little bit.
The strippers don't want them following them to their
No.
cars. The strippers tell the bouncers about that guy.
Exactly.
That guy gets banned from the champagne room.
Yeah.
That guy is not allowed to be alone with anybody. So he is right that those guys are at the strip club.
Yeah.
Just not the way he
Yeah.
makes it sound.
It's not a good thing. It's not good.
Roger creeped out another couple of women when he was getting his weekly manicure.
Mm-hmm.
He was gonna get a silk wrap,
Mm-hmm.
but the manicurist talked him into getting acrylics because they're more durable.
Okay.
Got a full set,
Yeah.
but just the caps, no length.
Oh, okay.
He
Okay.
kept it short,
Yeah.
but he got acrylic caps
Okay.
over his nails, which I don't know why I think is so 80s and precious.
Because it is.
I know guys that still do that shit to this very day, and
Good for
it's
them.
fine. But there's just something incredibly precious and hilarious about Roger Skaggs doing.
I know.
And that scraggly beard and that
I know.
ridiculous leather jacket.
But fabulous fingertips.
With this hot chippy of a second, whatever the hell you would have called Vanessa.
Yeah.
Getting his,
I don't know, promoted mistress?
getting his nails did.
Yeah.
Cracking jokes about, they're just having conversation. And Roger starts cracking jokes about his previous wife. My previous wife was so anal, like compared to Vanessa, they're just talking.
Yeah.
My previous wife was so anal, she ironed my underwear.
Yeah.
My previous wife was so anal, blah, blah, blah. And so the ladies were laughing, aha, that's why she's the previous wife. Ha ha ha. After he left, they saw his face on the news, and they were like, ew!
Right.
I'd like to report a Roger Skaggs sighting.
Exactly. Go home and just like hot shower and like, wipe this day off me.
He joked about her being dead.
Yeah, I'd be creeped out. That had to be so creepy.
Oh yeah. Now before they found out about him being Roger Skaggs, the Roger Skaggs.
Yes.
He was telling them about how him and Vanessa they like to go to the Cayman Islands.
Mm-hmm.
And every now and again they like to get the toes done when they were in the Cayman Islands.
Okay.
And so the manicurist not gonna miss the chance for an upsell here.
Right. True.
Shows them that she has like a private room where, like, if you want to do like a couples thing, it could be like romantic and private, or it could be like a wild party, however you want to do it. But if you guys are into couples pedicures,
yes,
we can do that here. And he was like, "Oh, okay, all right, that's cool." And then they keep joking around about the previous wife. He doesn't make the appointment for the pedicure, but right after he leaves, they see the news, and it's like, no,
right?
No. By this time, Penny has been dead for 8 months. So it's moving incredibly slow, but incredibly quickly at the same time. 8 months.
Yeah.
And those are just the big stories of him leching on people.
Yeah. Ugh. Being weird.
And you know he's just
weird and free.
And you know he's wearing the fuck out of that ugly jacket.
Yeah.
Driving that Harley that's basically a car with no roof or no doors.
Yeah, true.
Because you know that's the kind he has.
Yeah.
He doesn't have like a cross bracket. He's got one of those big, and not like the cool ones where your arms are
power wheels.
Yeah, not the
wheels.
Not the one where your arms are too high up in the air. I'm talking about that hog.
Yeah.
Those things.
Yep.
So for the next 2.5 years, the cops would be besieged with calls about Roger's sightings. And those calls usually included somebody reading the cops the Riot Act for allowing this guy accused of beating his wife to death to stay free on bond too long.
Right, they are not having it, these people. Not in their town.
No.
No peace. No justice, no peace.
Man. But despite all of the public frustration, probably because he killed a wealthy person.
Yeah, that's it.
We are also wealthy people, and we don't like thinking about the fact that not only could our family members snap and beat us to death, but you will let him roam free for 2.5 years.
We can't have this. Bring the property values down.
And all he's doing is his trial takes so long to get underway because motion after motion after motion is being filed. There's so much behind the scenes action going on that the public isn't seeing. There were hearings about the Skaggs marital counseling notes, whether or not those could be entered into evidence.
Yeah.
The defense said they couldn't because it's sacrosanct by talking to a pastor.
Yeah.
The prosecution wants some of that stuff in. There were motions for the case to be dismissed.
Of course.
Because some of Roger's notebooks and office supplies didn't meet the chain of custody standards or may have been somehow illegally obtained.
So they and immediately to dismissal.
and this goes on for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I cut all of that shit out because fuck all of that Pity Annie red herring.
They're doing their job.
However, the public would get to get their wish because Roger Skaggs would finally go to trial in October of 1998.
At last! They must have been so happy.
As jury selection got underway, the defense and the prosecution both shit bricks because Vanessa went MIA.
Oh no.
And they both wanted to use her.
Witness tampering?
No, she just left. She honestly, this case is getting so much press attention, and it's becoming quite literally difficult for her to move.
Yes,
to go anywhere, to do anything. She's on the verge of losing her job. Remember, her and Roger worked at the same company.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But even though she didn't do anything wrong technically, meaning that Roger was not her direct report.
Yeah.
They didn't work together directly in any kind of way. In that regard, she's still getting a lot of side eye, hushed conversations behind her. So it's getting hard for her to move around.
Yeah.
And she just says, "Fuck it, I'm out." She just decides to flee.
Yeah.
A bench warrant is issued for her arrest.
You bet. Yeah.
And when the trial started, Sarah was in court daily, sitting next to her 3 aunties. However, Sarah would eventually move to her father's side of the courtroom as the days passed.
Yeah.
But her aunties did not seem to fault her.
Yeah.
And because it is no secret that she is struggling to find some sort of middle ground between justice for her mother and supporting her father.
Yeah. That's an awful position to be in. Poor Sarah.
And it's like you're trying to protect the very person that your aunties would like to burn to the ground.
Yeah. Gleefully.
But they don't want to burn you to the ground.
Yeah.
It's a very complicated situation. For their part, the prosecution was pretty straightforward. Roger is in the middle of a midlife crisis and having an affair with a much younger woman. Roger may not have had much insurance on Penny, but he knew that if he divorced her, he would be paying support for the rest of their lives. Because she had never worked outside the home, really. Yeah. She had no skills to speak of. Yeah. They are in their late 50s.
Yeah.
You're just paying at this point. She don't got no social security to tap into. True. Nothing. Unless, of course, she remarried, which, figuring Penny's...
Yeah.
Basically, it was going to be a difficult divorce on Roger, no matter what. Knowing Penny, the odds of her just letting Roger divorce her and making it quick are pretty slim. Yeah. She would fight for that marriage.
Yeah.
And she would fight for it because of her views on marriage.
True.
And even if he was able to force her into letting him have the divorce, she's never going to fuck off and marry another man.
Yeah.
Because she would consider that breaking her vows, like cheating or something.
Yeah.
Even though they're divorced. She was like, my covenant with God cannot be broken.
Yeah, you broke it, I didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was going to be difficult on Roger no matter what. She wasn't going to make it easy for him to leave. And she was never going to put herself in a situation either by remarrying or entering the workforce.
Yeah.
Where he wouldn't have to pay her.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And so that's why he killed her. He wanted to be single and do whatever he wanted to do. And killing Penny was his way of keeping his fortune intact,
Mm.
and becoming single, and having enough money to attract the young women with.
Yeah.
Because let's be real,
Yeah. How's that working out?
he's not getting women like Vanessa with his winning personality.
God, no.
The defense hung their hat on a false positive DNA result in the lab.
Mm-hmm.
There was a tiny drop of blood on one of the 5 gloves that came back with a false positive for DNA.
Oh, okay.
You could tell that it was human, but there wasn't enough of it or whatever for you to really say what human
Yeah.
it came from. And the defense tried to latch on to it saying that this unknown sample proves
Mm-hmm.
that somebody that shouldn't have been in that house was in the house.
Okay.
And that should be enough reasonable doubt to let,
Yeah.
Roger go.
Sure.
Or in the real killer's framing Roger
Mm-hmm.
some kind of way by rolling his fingerprint into the
Yeah, as you do.
gloves or whatever. I don't know. I don't care.
Reach.
And if that didn't work, the defense had scores of character witnesses who were ready to testify that Roger Skaggs is a good dude.
Mm.
He's a good dude. He ain't the kind of dude that'll beat his wife to death.
Yeah.
He is so chill.
He's a good guy. I like him a lot. Personally wonderful.
Yes, he would never beat her to death.
Yeah. Not in a million billion years.
But it was a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm.
Because for every person that could come in and testify about what a great person Roger is,
Yeah.
that exact same person could sit there and tell you what a loving, wonderful, kind-hearted, giving, spiritual person that Penny was.
Yeah.
And it was the kind of testimony that rose Penny. She was almost a martyr for her marriage.
Yes. Yeah.
The way people talked about her dedication to Roger and
Yeah.
and her
She gave everything.
yeah. So for as many people that can say that Roger's a good dude,
Yeah.
those same people are amping Penny up,
Yeah.
which almost makes Roger look worse.
Yeah.
But also there were people that thought Roger was a jerk.
And you don't say.
Like when they took the stand, Penny's sisters talked about Penny and Roger's fight over the beach towels that almost
Yeah.
came to blows.
Yeah. That's so
How
weird.
Roger had to be shamed into buying Penny new clothes, new appliances.
Yeah. Cheap.
That he refused to take care of her
Mm-hmm.
when she was sick and demanded that she get better so that she could take care of him
Yeah.
in the usual way.
Such a selfish bitch.
Co-workers talked about how Roger had changed the motorcycle and the beard thing, and how people had been telling Penny about the affair.
Yeah.
People had been seeing her out and seeing.
These are very talkative, communicative people. They will tell you what they see.
Oh yeah,
These people love news. They love to spread it. Wow.
Also, it kind of goes to show how well liked Penny is.
True.
And despite her Phyllis Schlafly tendencies,
Yeah.
what a kind and loving person is. For his co-workers,
Yeah.
his colleagues, to see him out hoeing around and calling Penny like, girl, we need to talk.
Yeah. And care about her. Yeah.
So it is a testament to what a good person she must have been.
Yeah. Everyone chose her.
Yes. And that's probably why her end of the year letters started getting short.
Yeah.
And she was crying at random craft events.
Oh,
Because
Penny.
people are telling her.
Yeah.
Probably
I saw with Rebecca again.
towards the end, almost daily.
Yeah.
She's getting a call from somebody that if they didn't see Roger out with Vanessa,
Yeah.
they saw him in a place he
Vanessa.
shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
And it was getting to Penny.
Yeah. How could it not?
Yeah, especially
She's a perfect Christian wife.
man.
That had to really fucking hurt. Poor Penny.
Yeah. The defense tried to counter some of these witnesses that are basically making Penny a martyr.
Yeah.
Unintentional.
Yeah.
But this is the double-edged sword that the defense
Yes.
has. The defense tried to counter some of those witnesses by saying that, well, having an affair doesn't mean that you kill her.
Mm-hmm. Not necessarily.
Take that.
Yeah. It's not proof.
But the damage had been done.
Yeah.
As far as blemishing Roger's reputation and making him seem like the type of person that could do this type
He's
of
a
thing.
shady little rat.
The defense tried to rally.
Yeah.
One of the character witnesses that they called was a cop that had been on the scene the night Penny's body had found, and he testified that Roger was crying.
Yes.
He's crying. He was very upset.
Yeah.
But then there was another cop that said Roger would turn the waterworks on and off depending who was with them. And he said that he noticed that if Roger thought he was being watched, he would turn on the waterworks.
Yeah.
And the minute he thought nobody was paying attention to him, turn right off.
Ooh, creepy.
Again, they're making it seem like he could.
Yeah.
For every person, it's like, no, he's a nice guy.
Yeah. There's like, nope. Your Honor, he's a reptile. I've seen it.
Like, here's him being weird. Exactly.
Yeah.
There were people that said that there were no problems in the Skaggs marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that the proof was that Penny was still teaching her classes. Because Penny was so into this idea of the perfect Christ-centered marriage that her mission was not just to teach the classes, but to lead by example.
Yes.
So they point to the fact that she was still teaching her classes as to nothing was wrong in the Skaggs marriage because she would not be able to, in good conscience, be able to teach a class on being a godly wife.
I know, right?
If she was having marital issues.
Yeah.
They really reach in. How long is that pole?
Yeah.
That you're reaching with? That is a long ass reaching pole.
It really is.
Does it have a grabby on the end too?
Tell me you got a good fancy pole.
Right.
You're gonna reach like that.
But in the end, it would be for naught. The jury would deliberate for about 12 hours.
Okay, decent.
Over a weekend.
Yeah.
But Roger Thomas Skaggs was found guilty of the murder of Luann Penny Skaggs.
Good for you, Penny. You deserve it. You deserve justice.
Roger and his team were shook. Roger broke down and cried.
Oh, that's awesome.
And would spend the rest of the weekend in jail waiting for the sentencing portion of his trial to begin. Sarah hugged and comforted her father as best she could as he was led away to his cell.
Yeah.
Sentencing would start almost a month later on November 16th. And Roger had asked for the jury to decide his fate instead of the judge.
Okay.
As they waited for sentencing, the family and friends of Penny's family and friends all wore bright, shiny 1996 pennies on their lapel to commemorate Penny and the year of her death.
Yeah. That's thoughtful.
That's very sweet.
Yeah, it is.
Before the jury would deliver their sentence, Penny's family would be allowed to give victim impact statements. Penny's younger sister, Marilyn, was one of the twins. Marilyn said that when Penny died, she had been forced to become the main caregiver for their elderly parents. Which was difficult because her other three sisters work and live in two-income households. Penny was the only one that had the bandwidth. And she doesn't mean that in like in a shitty, I don't want to take care of my parents way, but this is
what worked for the family.
Exactly. Marilyn said, quote, "Nothing like this has ever happened in our family. After March 1996, my parents never recovered. They had some health problems, but they bounced back. They were doubled over in pain, and they've never been able to stand back up.
Oh, yeah.
The murder of their daughter, caused by their son-in-law, has crushed them.
Yeah.
My dad has anger and pain in his eyes. My mother's spirit has been crushed. There is a long, black, dark line across our lives now, and our lives are separated into before Penny and after Penny.
Yeah.
I have to go over and over again to explain to my children why this happened. I am a person of faith, and my faith has been shaken. If this could happen to Penny, this could happen to me. This is not an outside intrusion, an intrusion from the outside. It is something from within the family. Faith and trust in everything has been shattered.
Wow.
End quote. Marilyn said that she and her family were often humiliated when people would sort out who they were in relation to Penny and Roger, like recognize them in the paper or something like that. And because people are assholes, they would just say, "What is wrong with your family?"
Yeah. Yeah, that is assy.
Because people are insensitive.
Yes.
And parasocial relationships are weird.
Yes.
And they just go over and say shit like that to these poor people, these poor women.
It's like people fight your impulses. All of them. Just question them, look at them, examine them. Should I go up to this perfect stranger and ask about their fucked up family? No. Pass.
I don't care if you did see them in morning paper. You don't know.
Yeah, let them go. Let them
Leave.
be. Let them go.
Think about it later. Sharon, who is now the oldest, the one after Penny, talked about now how she had nightmares.
Oh.
That she was going to somehow end up like Penny.
Yeah, that is horrifying.
That her husband or some person is just going to come in the night and just bludgeon her to death. One of the people to take the stand on Roger's behalf was his boss. Not the flex you think it is, bro. Not the flex you think it is. And that's the guy who's the CEO of the parent company that Roger worked for. The CEO talked about how Roger loved Penny and Sarah and spoke about them often. Roger was always so good under pressure and cared about his employees. The CEO said he didn't want to argue with the jury's decision, and he knew that if Roger's going to get out of this, Roger will have a difficulty finding a job when he gets out. But he was optimistic that if he's ever allowed in polite society again, Roger would be good at whatever job he got. Like I said, having the CEO of your billion-dollar company give an victim impact statement is not the flex you
that
think
was
it is.
very polite of him. That sounds very polite.
Dude said he was a true believer. He didn't believe Roger did it.
Oh, okay.
That's why he testified. He didn't believe Roger could do it.
Yeah.
He's legal, damn it.
No, Ross Perot believes he could do it. He betrayed me. He was my eagle, and he flew away.
And then he took down his employee in a month.
Exactly. Ross Perot would tell you he's trash.
You know what?
Yes.
One time somebody should have listened to Ross Perot.
Right.
So the last person to take the stand on Roger's behalf would be Sarah.
Oh.
She talked about how he was a loving and patient father, even when she was a pain in the ass teen. How supportive he had been when her mother had disowned her.
Yeah.
And it was clear that despite her complicated relationship with Penny, there was no doubt that she loved her mother.
Yeah.
But she also didn't want anybody to take her father away from her right now.
I don't
either.
blame her.
She's like 26.
Exactly. And he's all she's got.
Yeah.
I mean, she has her biological family, but like this is who raised her.
Yeah, it's
That's
different.
her dad. That's different. Yeah.
The jury was out for 2.5 hours before they returned with their sentence. Roger would be sentenced to 32 years with the possibility of parole
Mm-hmm.
and have to pay a $10,000 fine.
Oh.
Roger will have to serve between 12 to 15 years of that time
Mm-hmm.
before he can be considered for parole.
Fair.
And at 59 years old, this is effectively a life sentence.
Yes. Like, you might get out in time to die.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's weird. At that time, in the late 90s, Texas didn't have an option for life with no parole.
Oh, yeah? Huh.
They only had 32 years with parole, life, or death penalty.
Huh.
I mean, they still got all the minor stuff in between.
But, like, for, like, big infractions like that.
But for, like, capital stuff, yeah, they really only seem to have, at least in the back then, they only seem to have life, 32 years with parole, death penalty.
Yeah.
They didn't have it in between back then.
And that seems reasonable.
Yeah. So how do you feel that Roger's finally been roundly and soundly locked away?
I feel relieved. This guy, this guy must be stopped. He's just too spoiled and he will strike again. He will kill again.
And I think that the prosecution's theory of events is right. It's a midlife crisis, and he wanted to go be single and fuck. What the prosecution said, he was so busy chasing fat-bottomed young ladies.
They make the rocket world go round. Yeah.
I was like, he did not just invoke fat-bottomed girls to worry about, what he was doing to Penny.
Yeah, well, she was such a naughty nanny.
Yes.
A big woman. Made a big boy out of him.
He likes those young fat-bottomed girls.
Man. Roger,
he was
grow up.
Done with Penny and her little tiny pinched bird.
Oh, yeah.
So after the trial, Vanessa came back to Austin, settled her bench warrant. Nothing really happened to her. I mean, she basically was like, she got overwhelmed and she was scared. And
yeah, I can see that.
And she just didn't want to deal with it, and that's why she went away.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything really to her. They fined her, and they kept it pushing. After Vanessa came back, Roger's defense asked for a new trial, but in the end, the judge decided that Vanessa's testimony wouldn't have made a difference one way or another.
Yeah.
If anything, they probably would have hurt him.
Yeah.
Lord only knows what she could have been tricked into.
True. Yeah.
Telling.
Yeah. I could see, like, not wanting to perjure herself would be another reason to hoof it.
Yeah, so that's why she ate the fine.
Yeah.
She came back after the trial, ate her fine.
She's like, it was the best choice I had.
And kept it pushing. Yeah, that request was denied. The judge was like, no. He still got a fair trial.
Yeah.
Having his mistress show up.
Yeah.
Don't really make a lick of difference. Relax, G.
Yeah.
Relax. Because Roger went to jail a fairly wealthy man, and his wealth had nothing to do with Penny's murder.
True.
Hence, he's allowed to keep it.
Yeah.
He was able to pay for another dream team to handle his first round of appeals.
Okay.
Fun fact, the appeals lawyer that he hired is the same guy that got Willie Nelson off when weed was illegal. That guy.
Alright.
But alas, Roger's money couldn't buy his freedom this time.
Aw, what a shame.
I mean, his money, having those millions of dollars, is what bought him 2.5 years of freedom.
True. That's all you get then.
It bought him the types of attorneys that have the types of staff that they can just file motion after motion after motion.
Yeah.
And delay.
Yeah, you better have got through your bucket list.
Yeah. I hope you bagged more young women than just Vanessa.
No, I don't.
Dang.
I hope you failed. I hope you tried.
Look, that's
failed.
clearly
TikTok.
all he wants to do. So
True.
it's like, hey, I hope you got to do it before this because
it's over.
And his appeal failed. The money didn't matter this
Yay,
time.
good.
After that, Roger gave up on the appeals process itself.
Nice.
But he didn't give up on trying to get out altogether. He tried for a special needs parole.
Oh, okay.
About 5-7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He tried for a special needs parole based on his age.
Yeah.
He was 59 when he was convicted.
Yeah. So he's elderly now.
Yeah, 32 years with possibility of you got to serve 12 years.
Yeah.
Before you hit parole, so he's going to be 70.
Yeah. When was he locked up? 97.
98, heading into 99.
Okay.
He has to serve 12 to 15 years.
So it's been like 26 years.
Yeah.
So he's getting close to like 32.
Yeah. So for him to even before we get to the point where he would be able to be eligible for parole at the 12 to 15 year mark.
Yeah. I think he's in his 80s now.
Right, but he did an interview when he was going for this compassionate special needs age-based release. He was saying basically he was going to be 71 before he even he's going to be in his 70s before he even got the whiff of a chance at parole.
Yeah.
And that upset him because none of the men in his family had lived past past 70.
He should have thought of that before he murdered his wife.
Yeah, so so it didn't work. The special needs parole doesn't work. None of it works. And so now Roger spends his time in prison. He was at first working as a kitchen helper. But he was able to use his computer skills and to his advantage, and he got a job in the inventory department.
Okay. Well, good on you.
It doesn't give him any extra privileges, but he gets to work in the only air-conditioned building on the campus.
That's something. That's a heck of a big something.
Also, fuck you, Texas. There should be more air-conditioned buildings on this campus.
Yeah.
I understand they're criminals. I understand they need to be punished for whatever.
But they have to stay alive to be punished.
Right.
And it's like, it's inhumane. You're going to kill
exactly.
people. You assholes.
They do kill people.
Yeah. Regularly.
We don't talk about how many people die in those sweat boxes.
It's a shame, because we should.
I think Texas is the worst offender, but it ain't the only one. That shit happens in Louisiana. That shit happens in Arizona. It happens here in LA.
Yes.
It happens in way too often in too many cities and towns across this country.
Yeah.
That these jail cells, prison cells, whatever, they're not well ventilated.
Yeah.
People sitting and rotting and sweating in their own filth. And they don't have air conditioning.
Yeah. It's cruel. It's sick.
And Roger Skaggs being an asshole notwithstanding, no human should live like that.
No.
Whether you beat a woman to death or you stole a box of popcorn.
Yeah.
No human should be treated that way.
Honestly, we have you locked away just to keep you away from the rest of society. We don't have to torture you to death.
No.
That's sick.
No, we don't.
That makes us just as bad as you.
Exactly. Roger still has plenty of friends and family who believe that he is innocent and write to him often and send him books. But that number is dwindling. I mean, think about it. His friendship group is the same age as him.
Yeah.
So
they're dying out.
They're starting to become infirm.
Yeah.
They are starting to meet their natural ends. And I doubt their children are picking up that mantle for them.
Yeah. Nope.
Penny's parents would see Roger go to jail. They would live that long. But they never got over Penny's murder.
Yeah. How do you?
Her father passed in 2000. Her mother passed in 2003. And both were in their early middle 90s when they passed.
They had a good run, but what a terrible end.
Yeah, the last 20 years were hard.
Yeah.
Especially when Penny dies in 86. He goes to jail in 89. They die in 2000, 2003, respectively. That's way too many years of that hurt.
Yeah.
Sarah would continue her education and start her own family.
Oh, good.
She works around criminal justice.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. She would visit her father often until work, family, life circumstances moved her out of Texas. And now the visits are rare.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure she still writes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, her children would probably be the only people that keep up the writing and letter campaign after. If something were to happen to Sarah or something like that, it would be her family. Now their visits are rare. Roger tries to keep the faith and minister to young men that he meets in jail.
Okay.
He says if he ever gets out, he feels this work would make him a valuable member of society. Roger still says that he's innocent and that he was only convicted because people disapproved of his affair.
Okay, Roger.
And that was the story of Penny and Roger Skaggs.
Nice. Yeah, he's never getting out.
Oh no, he's going to die in jail.
Yeah.
He is still among the living, but he is...
But he's incapable of taking ownership of what he did. They're never going to parole him.
Oh no, he's never going to get out.
I think if he were to be like, I did it, I really regret it, I would never do it again, I'm so sorry for what I've done, he might have a whiff of a hope.
But he'll never do that.
No. He and Betty Broderick locked up forever.
Never. And add insult to injury, probably even more so than his lack of accountability.
Yeah.
He made that town of wealthy Austinites feel away. He threatened the safety, the security, the peace of mind, the general well-being of Austin's elite.
Oh, the injustice!
I'm telling you, that's almost the bigger crime here. He made that silly feel away.
You know.
That's why I'll never let him out.
That's true.
Fuck the 32 years. Fuck that he's elderly. He made the wealthy people of Austin feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, the gentry have been deeply offended.
And for that, he must pay.
Yes.
And on that note, I have been Samara.
And I have been Jeannie.
And this has been Talk Deadly to Me.